A very good evening to everyone. Welcome to NTA UGC Net Paper 1. That is for 2022 batches, the new series which we have started. And we have started the series from the month of Jan itself. Now, in today's class, we are going to see a small topic of theory on research aptitude. Now, yesterday we conducted Maha Marathon. The links are given in the description box, but there were concern on certain topics. So today I thought I'll be taking two topics. That is, one is the inductive and deductive research, and another is longitudinal and cross-sectional research. So we'll just see what exactly these researches are. So before we go ahead, let's quickly understand what does global online has for you all students who are preparing for the 2022 cycle. So on global online we have paper 1, and new batch for paper 1 is again going to start from 14th of April, wherein you will be having the sessions of the sessions on logical unit, which will be taken by Zeba ma'am. Now, apart from this, we have a complete course which consists of daily lectures, notes on all the topics in the form of PDF, last 10-year question papers with the solution key. Apart from that, test series in the form of mock test, which will be covering more than 2,500 MCQs. You can check this with the help of a global online app. The icon for the app is given in this in front of you. You can just have a look and do the needful, or in case if you have any concerns, any queries, you can get in touch with the given WhatsApp number. The fees for paper 1 is rupees 3,000. Now, as you all know that, yes, paper 1 on the app also, you can find all the details, where we have live lectures, video lectures, 60 plus mock tests. We have last 10 years, previous year question papers solved, complete notes and MCQs, which will definitely help you to score, 75 plus in your paper 1. At the same time, on the daily basis, after the session is done, suppose today the session is on research aptitude. If once the session is done, we have a time for review. So today you will be having a time for review, that is evaluation test, that is RA007 is the code, which you can go and solve the test, so that it will help you to understand, where is your performance going, on what track, and how you need to go ahead with your scores. Now, yes, very important news to you all, that very soon, that is tomorrow itself, we are coming up with a crash course on teaching aptitude that is scheduled on 13th of April. That is from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Now, this particular crash course is useful for whom? So this crash course is useful for all the students who are going to prepare themselves for this June 2022 cycle. That is, students who have revised can come back and recall the things. Students who are completely fresh can understand what is there in the teaching aptitude, and students who needs little bit of understanding on some concepts and want to go through the revision and complete the unit and keep aside, so even they can come and attend this will be a live session for crash course, and you can attend the same. Now, yes, so you all know that research aptitude unit is for you have 5 questions on that unit, and the total number of marks for the question allotted is 10. So you have 2 marks for ideally each question. Syllabus, as you all know that, you have the topics called as research, meaning types, characteristics, positivism, and post-positivistic approach, which I have done in detail in my theory classes. The link of the theory classes are also available in the description box. On the app, all the lectures are also available. So both the places you will get all the lectures properly in systematic way. Methods of research we have studied steps where questions are definitely seen, thesis and article writing, application of ICT in research, and research ethics, where you definitely surely get one question. So the today's class agenda is basically completing 2 topics. One is one topic is based on inductive and deductive research, and another topic is cross-sectional and longitudinal research. So let's start with inductive and deductive research. So when we talk about inductive research, the research is nothing but it is called as a bottom-up approach, wherein it starts with, specific observation coming, or you can also call it as a particular observation, a specific or a particular. Now, in the examination, they play with lot of words, lot of words they are playing with in the examination. So you should remember that in inductive approach, that is your bottom-up approach, a specific observation is starts, okay, which is, observed in the pattern, wherein the tentative statements or the tentative hypothesis has been framed, and the theory is, the theory comes up. That is, it is generalized. Generalization comes up. So inductive reasoning is basically the nature is open-ended, like it's more open-ended and exploratory, especially at the beginning. So when you see at the beginning, it is more of, open-ended and especially exploratory in nature. And then coming to use, coming slowly observing the pattern, framing the hypothesis, and then coming to the general theory. That is the basic nature, that is broader generalizations and theory. That is the nature of what? It is the nature of inductive approach. It is also called as bottom-up approach. When we come to deductive, see deductive. So from something general, we come to something which is very specific or which is very particular. So we have a theory wherein we frame the hypothesis, we observe the same thing, and when we go for either confirmation or rejection. So the hypothesis depends which hypothesis is confirmed, which hypothesis is rejected. Now deductive reasoning is narrow in nature. If you see, it goes on narrowing, okay, and it concerned with testing and confirming of the hypothesis. So this is how the deductive and inductive research works out. So you should remember the various names which are they called. That is, inductive is called as bottom up, deductive is called as top down approach. Apart from this, because yesterday in the marathon, I have seen, little bit of question get shift. The students get confused. So specific, general, of general to specific or particular, and specific to general. These all things, rules you have to remember. You don't have to wrote it very well. You have to remember these rules, which are very, very important. So let's take a look, if you talk about, because the question comes in any form. So when I'm talking about inductive approach, which starts with an observation, which comes to a generalization, that is a statement, and through which the theory is based. At the same time, when we go for deductive approach, it starts with a theory, okay? It comes to a prediction, and then with the help of what? With the help of experiment. That is, it comes to a specific thing when it is, when it is narrowing down, okay? Now, again, I meant to say, if there is still a confusion for you people all, so let's understand very well. So see, we can see inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning, okay? So inductive reasoning, inductive, okay, which starts with an observation, or observation which is to be done in a particular pattern by with the help of a tentative hypothesis, that is nothing but a statement, and based on that you come up to a generalization. So something which starts with very specific or a particular thing, and you comes up with a general thing. Okay, so inductive approach, if you see, it begins with a research question. So here we have a research question and collection of empirical data which are used to formulate hypothesis and the theory. Whereas if you see a deductive reasoning, they come up with what? They come up with something which is very general and narrowing down to something which is very specific or particular. So that is framing the hypothesis, collection of data and analysis based on the hypothesis, and then confirming, that is either in the form of confirmation or either in the form of rejection, and based on that concluding the research. So deductive approach starts with an existing theory driven hypothesis. So I mean to say, it starts with an approach of theory driven, which further guides to data collection and analysis in order to test the hypothesis and conclusions. So if you look at inductive approach, it is generally associated with the qualitative research, whereas your deductive approach is associated with what? It is associated with the quantitative approach. So please try to understand, like for example, there are question scenes, inductive approach. Now in yesterday, as I said, or like for example, we will be revising more of MCQs in the coming days. So they can put you any confusion. Like for example, they can say that, theory is, the theory is decided, the hypothesis are framed, data collection is done, interpretation of data is done, analysis of data is done, then comes a conclusion and recommendation. They will give you the lengthy process and they will tell you to find out which which approach it has been following. So it starts with a theory, but it comes down to a conclusion. That is a narrow approach which is followed in what? Which is followed with a deductive reasoning or deductive approach. So as we said that, when you are, they can give you an example of deductive approach wherein the data is quantified. Okay, so you should remember this all points when you're learning the theory very well, because any amount of question bit even twisted, if your concepts are clear, the twisting of the question will not have an impact once your concepts are clear. But if your concepts are not clear, then it will lead to more and more confusion. So for that thing, you do not have to by heart anything, understand it very well. Yes, now, like for example, some students have a concern that, ma'am, when we learn, we understood it very well, we understood the concept, but when it comes to question answering, so for that you have to take an extra step of practicing more and more MCQs. So like for example, it is, you do not have to restrict yourself, okay, only with previous year question papers. Daily, on daily basis, you can take, you can go on, online, with the help of online methods of whatever books you have purchased or study material you have. You keep on going through new and new search of, practicing the MCQs with the deadline of time, so it becomes easier for you. Because what happens generally is that when you practice the MCQs, you take your own time, to answer the questions. But in examination, you have a pressure, you have a watch, I mean to say, timing pressure is there, wherein you have to complete. So like the questions like data interpretation, or questions like, which requires little bit of calculation, mathematical reasoning, or little bit of thinking, there you waste the time and the pressure comes on the minds, and in that process, even if you know something, you tend to make a mistake. So for that reason, whenever you're practicing, you have to ensure that you're practicing with your time speed. That is very, very important. Is it clear? So here we have understood inductive and deductive approach very well. Okay, now yes, so there was again concern with a small topic, that is cross-sectional and longitudinal. So this was a section of research wherein students are still confused what comes under cross-sectional and what comes under longitudinal. So when I talk about cross-sectional studies, okay, the data is collected at one point of time, okay, but with with a cross section. We are going to see in detail with the help of examples. When we talk about longitudinal, the data is collected over repeated period of time. Okay, so the length, the span of the period is huge. So let's understand with the help of, minute observation as well as examples. So when we talk about longitudinal study, researchers repeatedly examine the same individuals to detect the changes that might occur a period of time. Like for example, you are studying the changes as per the age group. You're studying the changes as per like for example, as per the qualification. So when the child was in the primary section, when he comes to secondary, higher secondary, the college level, junior college, degree college, masters, if he's doing post doctoral also. So in that case, you can say that your research study is longitudinal. So longitudinal research are types of correlational study in which researchers observe and collect the data of number of variables without trying to influence those variables. So because here it is, it has to be for a longer period of time in order to come up with a conclusion. Whereas in the cross-sectional study, it is a type of observation research that analyze the data of variables collected at a given point of time, okay, across the same population or the predefined subject. So here you have, you have a same type of population, okay, at a given point of time. You do not see the phases. So it is cross-sectional analysis. You also called it as transverse studies or prevalence study. So let's see one example. Like for example, when we talk about the cross-sectional study, so different groups compared at the same time. So whether it is group 1, whether it is group 2, or whether it's group 3. So you have different, okay, you can say samples, different products, different things at a same time. You're not studying it in different times. Same, the sections are different. So it is called as cross section. Maybe like for example, one department to another, okay, commerce, science, and arts. Let us take an example. So in that sense, you called it as what? You called it as a cross-sectional study. But when we talk about longitudinal study, it is the same group which is compared over a period of time. Like for example, group 1, but time phase 1, maybe 5 years, another 5 years, or another 3 years. So these groups are same, but they are studied again and again over a period of time. So this is called as what? This is called as the longitudinal study. Is it clear? So I have just taken a small concept today, and to just elaborate you in the coming days, not only MCQs, no doubt MCQs are going to come, but the channel has came up with one more strategy. Now, like for example, like this, there are so many small topics, like say around, suppose there is a topic on you want to understand the concept of only types of research. So what we are going to do is that in the coming days, we are going to make a small videos on small topic. So you don't have to, like for example, you're stuck up with only one topic. So we will be very specific what exactly the topic is, and those topics will help you to understand, okay, this is this is a video on this topic. So you can just watch the video, clear your concept and move ahead. So you don't have to, keep on hunting, keep on finding. So it will be very specific, and it will be up to date. So these all things are going to come up. So now you have to just do one thing, is you have to gear up yourself. You have to really work hard if you're really aiming of covering or cracking your net in this coming attempt. So you have to ensure that you're giving a sincere dedication and commitment to your studies. A timetable has been prepared, and you are ensuring that you are doing your best, so that you don't have to regret that with certain percentile or with certain marks you have been left behind. Okay, so yes, before we wind up the session, again a reminder for tomorrow morning. We have 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We have a crash course on teaching aptitude. So entire teaching aptitude will be covered. So it's a request to everyone, those who can make it possible, come live, and if in case any doubts are there, you can solve it out. And one unit you can be confident you have covered it. Okay. Apart from this, Global Online also has paper 2 with the subjects called management, computer science, as well as economics and commerce. If you're taking exclusively paper 2, you can go with paper 1 free. And the fees for same is rupees 7,000. In case if you have any concerns or any doubt, you can get in touch with the given WhatsApp number, and stay tuned, so that tomorrow morning we are meeting up again in order to go ahead with the topic that is called as what? The topic of teaching aptitude crash course. So thank you everyone, and see you soon tomorrow morning. Thank you.